Good day, everyone, and thank you for joining this session. I am Dr. Lionel Sanchez from the University of the Philippines, Cebu, presenting our collaborative research with Dr. Marilu Pascual from the Nueva Ecija University of Science and Technology, and our study designing systems of people, strategic development through soft skills training explores how soft skills like communication, teamwork, and leadership can strengthen organizations when approached through a systems thinking lens. So, why do we focus on people systems? It's because organizations, much like ecosystems, they thrive when their parts work in harmony with each other. And so they are systems made of people whose interactions, relationships, and our ability to adapt shape the overall success of the organization. So in today's very fast-pacing, ever-changing environments, human development is no longer just an HR concern. It is organizational design. So the way we train, communicate, and lead directly defines how competitive and how resilient an institution can be. And so this study was conducted in Cabanatuan City, focusing on 98 admin personnel. These employees keep the institutions running efficiently, yet their professional development often receives very limited attention. So we wanted to identify their training needs, especially in areas like communication and stress management, and design a framework that truly fits their work realities. So the study objectives are that we had three main goals. First was to assess the soft skills training needs among the admin staff. Second is to determine how the demographics like age and years of service affect those needs. And third, to develop a practical modular training framework that organizations can apply directly to improve workforce performance. So we approached this study using a systems thinking. Organizations are dynamic, interconnected systems where a small change in behavior can shift the entire structure. When communication improves, teamwork follows. When stress is managed well, productivity rises. Soft skills act as the feedback mechanisms that keep the system balanced, allowing it to adapt and self correct. We also grounded the framework in a human centered approach. This means designing training around the real context of people's work, busy schedules, varied learning styles, and the limited time that they have. So we used scenario-based and modular formats, treating learning not as a top-down instruction, but as a co-design where participants shape their own learning experiences. The study used a descriptive quantitative method. We surveyed 98 administrative staff through a structured questionnaire assessing five focus areas: communication, leadership, teamwork, conflict resolution, and stress management. The goal of the research was not only to quantify gaps, but to understand the patterns of learning priorities across different demographics. We conducted this study with full ethical compliance. The participants gave informed consent after being briefed on the purpose. Their responses were kept confidential, and participation rather was voluntary at all times. All the research procedures followed the academic and institutional ethical guidelines to ensure integrity and respect for everyone involved in the research and data gathering and collection. Communication emerged as the highest priority skill with an average score of 3.88 out of 4. Administrative staff recognize that clear communication reduces misunderstandings, builds collaboration, and improves morale. It's the foundation that allows other soft skills to function effectively, creating smoother coordination across different departments in the institution. The second major finding highlights the link between stress management and leadership development. Stress management scored 3.82 and leadership 3.78 out of 4. Younger staff, in particular, expressed a desire for mentorship and guidance. They aspire to lead but often face pressure, balancing performance with well being. Developing both skills together helps cultivate resilient, empathetic future leaders. Third, training needs also differ by age and tenure. The new hires expressed a strong need for onboarding and adaptation. This somehow shows that a one size fits all approach to training won't really work. Programs must be tailored to each group. Employees aged 25 to 35 prioritize leadership and stress management as they navigate career growth. Meanwhile, those aged 36 to 50 emphasize teamwork and communication, reflecting their more collaborative roles. The fourth finding was that despite recognizing the value of training, many participants faced significant barriers. 65% cited lack of time, while 40% noted weak institutional support. Others mentioned that existing formats were too rigid. To overcome these, organizations must adopt a modular or hybrid training systems that fit within daily routines and are supported by management. So, from these findings, we designed a comprehensive soft skills framework built on five focus areas. These are communication, leadership, teamwork, stress management, and conflict resolution. Each area reinforces the others, forming a cohesive system that strengthens both individual capability and institutional culture. The framework translates into five interconnected modules. First is navigating challenges with grace for stress and conflict management. Second, leading with confidence for leadership, growth, and initiative. Third is mastering collaboration for teamwork and shared accountability. Fourth is unlocking communication power for clarity and feedback. Fifth is building stronger connections for empathy and emotional intelligence. So, together, they form a cycle of continuous personal and professional development. These were the five training modules identified. So we designed the program to be practical and flexible. Each topic is delivered in a 4-hour modular session, short enough to fit a workday but deep enough to create impact. Learning activities include role playing, simulations, and reflection, allowing participants to learn by doing, similar to the outcomes based education approach, learning by doing. 58% of the respondents preferred these hands on scenario based methods, proving that adults learn best through experience. Participants projected measurable results after implementing the framework: a 20% increase in operational efficiency, a 25 rise in productivity, and a 30% improvement in job satisfaction. So these figures show that investing in soft skills directly enhances organizational performance and employee well-being. So this brings us back to systems thinking in action. Every soft skill interacts with others. When communication improves, collaboration strengthens. When teamwork grows, productivity follows. And when stress is managed, resilience develops. Improving one part of the system lifts the whole organization. We also found out that soft skills development mirrors the design thinking process. You empathize with the employees to understand their needs, define the gaps, ideate solutions, prototype the trainings, and test the results. In short, designing learning experiences is also a design practice in and of itself, one that builds culture and capacity and not just skills. Just like organizations, design studios operate as living systems where every member and process connects. When one part improves, say, for example, communication or the workflow, the whole system benefits. Applying systems thinking in design means viewing collaboration, critique, and feedback as interdependent cycles that build creative resilience. So each soft skill module fits design settings. Communication keeps the projects aligned in a studio. Leadership builds mentorship. In a firm, teamwork connects disciplines, especially if there are various types of disciplines involved. Stress management sustains creativity, especially when the firm is under heavy amount of deadlines and conflict resolutions. It keeps the critiques productive, instead of tackling it in a personal manner. So together, these reinforce the creative ecosystem. Globally, studios show how systems thinking thrives. For example, the IDU fosters open communication and feedback loops. Fjord builds leadership through post project reflection. The Fjord design and innovation from Accenture, and Ripe Concepts, which is a local design company. Its organizational culture reflects a people system because uh, they approach the company, no, rather than a very rigid top-down model. It operates a very people centered system, and these examples prove that human centered systems strengthen design impact and culture. For local studios, the framework that we just designed, especially those that are starting small, through mentorship activities such as like breaks or lunches, team reflections, or even hybrid workshops. Now, these can be applicable to small or startup studios. For larger design firms, they can formalize leadership and communication training by embedding these systems thinking in both academic and studio culture. Excuse me. Both academic and studio culture It creates a sustainable, collaborative design ecosystem. So, looking ahead, we recommend, based on the research that we just conducted, three different directions. First is to integrate soft skills development into human resource and academic programs, and also learning becomes part of the institutional DNA. Second is to ensure leadership support. When leaders champion growth, the culture follows. And third, conduct longitudinal studies to measure how training impacts performance and retention over time. So, the next phase of design leadership blends systems thinking with creativity. Soft skills become design tools just as vital as material and form in design. So when we design systems that learn, adapt, and care, we move towards studios that are not only productive but humane and future ready. So, in closing, strong systems are built by strong people. Designing for growth means designing with empathy, understanding the human dynamics behind every process. The study reminds us that when we invest in people, we invest in the future stability and excellence of our institutions. So, thank you very much, and I welcome your questions or your reflections pertaining to my study. Thank you.